I just stream in 9 minutes ago.
It's streaming right now. The other one didn't connect to video.
So it's getting a notification.
I had to do through the. I'm live right now.
Okay, well, send it to me.
I'm live right now.
Okay, okay.
You guys can't hear me.
You guys can't hear me. You guys can't hear me.
To the spot right here. It's getting clearer though, I think. Let's go to the this 5,000 grit. Use water. Those Flits, polish. Who is Beebleys? Is that Mariana? Exactly. Why do I have to explain everything? I want to. I'm working. Wait, can you hear me? I'm not gonna do any streaming if you talk to me the whole time. I swear to God, you and Momo are the same person sometimes. You're- I'm not telling you anything. The metal board's not a board. This is a pick guard. This goes on the guitar so that you don't scratch the wood. It goes like this, right? So that when you're strumming, the strings are here. When you're strumming like this with the pick, you're not scratching up the wood. You're just, which I guess is what this is, this wear from when the person that owned the guitar was strumming. And that's kind of got to a mirror finish, but there's like this one area that's discolored. But I mean, it's pretty much. Hmm, why do I have to talk? I don't have to talk to you, Golly. You talk too much. Yeah, I keep going with this piece. Maybe I should do this by hand. 5,000. Let me go to 3,000, maybe 3,000. I guess. I'm not really sure if you're not supposed to go circular. I think you're supposed to just go like back and forth like this. So it's definitely my first time trying to get it to like a mirror polish instead of just removing the old rust. This is kind of beyond that because like I've definitely removed the rust. I'm just trying to get it to this one little area of discoloration to match the rest of the metal. I just don't know if that's possible. Maybe it is. Maybe I should go to a lower grit and then go up. Wait, can you hear the scrubbing? This is at peak 3000. Right? 3000. I just want it to match. Like you could see that this is clearly polished over here, right? Like it can get to like a mirror finish. Problem is this little area right here is I mean, this is obviously the area where the strumming has happened, right? Like the pick of the finger or whatever has been hitting this area right here and cause this discoloration. So I wonder if I can buff it out to get back to like this kind of a look. And if I keep going with the sanding, I believe I'll be able to do it eventually. I just, yeah, how long is that going to take? I don't know. Right. I'm going to throw some flits on it. And we'll see. Polish. I just want to do that by hand real quick. So, like, if I put it on this, there's a like good likelihood that it'll just throw it everywhere, which is what I don't want. Battery died. I don't know if this one's charged. Well, I mean, clean up the guts. I'm actually also gonna hit this with some contact cleaner. Contact cleaner for you know. This is actually really good stuff. It's not regular WD-40. This is for like electronics and things like that. If you ever had an amplifier or speakers and they've had like a gully when you're listening to them, like if you're turning the volume up and down and you hear like a like that kind of a thing. If you spray these on the contacts, it gets rid of a lot of the corrosion and stuff in there. So this is for electronics. You could, just spray this on a circuit board and it's not going to harm it. You just have to make sure that it dries before you try to turn it on so it's not conducting. I got a new can right here. And I like using this because it's cheaper, but if you have this deoxit, it's really good with removing oxidation and stuff like that. Um, with electronics and stuff like that. What is stuff right here? Cleaner audio, video, data, stuff like that. So this is definitely for like electronics cleaning. Yeah, you've got like old tape decks, amps, things like that. That works wonders for cleaning off those old connections that are corroded and rusted, and that gunk on them and stuff like that. Especially like speakers and volume adjustment. I just sprayed that by accident. Like these are volume knobs. So if you spray that onto this area, it'll get inside the pot. This is a pot. So it'll get inside there and it'll scrub away all the gunk that's built up and all the rust, things like that. So it's really good for electronics, which is what I'm going to be. Just nice liberal application like that. So definitely like this is where your guitar cord goes into. So if you look in here, like there's definitely some corrosion and stuff like that. You can see in here, like brown and green. So that's what this is for. No, and I'll go in there. The Q-tip. Also, like if you spray this in here, like this is the volume knob. So you put plastic on it like this, and you turn up and down. But if you just turn, I like to turn it, give a little spritz, and then rub it back and forth so it works its way in there. Stuff like that. And the contact cleaner actually dries really quick. It's not like regular WD-40 where it'll like lubricate stuff like that. This does lubricate, but it dries very quickly, so it's not any electronic components are not like staying wet and getting conductive and stuff like that. This one, trying to get all the connections, all the solder points. And if I'm having any issues, then I can just go back and redo the soldering. It'll look better though. These are switches that I'm assuming activate each bridge. So you have like activate each of these. So yeah, I think this is the neck bridge, and then this is the bottom one. So this will have both. Um, but these switches will pretty much turn them on and off. These are magnets, right? So like if I'm hitting the strings, the vibrations will go through and you hear the sound. Like if this is the top one, this is the bottom one. I'm guessing this may be top and bottom, like on and off, on and off. You have them both on, so they'll both be activated at the same time. So when you strum, they'll have that. Yeah. Getting some air, res corrosion. So nice and good. Also, while I'm doing this, I'll check out the solder connection, just make sure there's nothing like corroded or falling apart. So this is basically what's in here. Like you have this outer case right here. If you took this metal shell off, you took this off, it'd be like pretty much a copper spool wrapped around this. But this looks good. If you look in there, and I can just see the bare copper. I don't see anything. Just get nice spreads of that all over. Yeah. Also, you might see me use these white sheets. This is just an alcohol tissue I get to use and come back through here and clean. If it's not too bad, I'm not going to try going overboard. If I could just clean it up with some IPA alcohol, then I will. I need to come back through here. Like I might have to come back through here, like seeing the little tiny dots of corrosion on here. Um, I might come back there with a little bit of a polish and abrasive cleaner so it gets removes all that off. Actually, I could stick a razor blade, and scrape it off. Yeah, it's a lot. Gunk off there, off the surface. So this isn't too bad. This is definitely not as bad as the back plate, which is definitely seriously rusted out and corroded. But I mean, this isn't really connected to anything, so I don't mind just getting this cleaned up and put back on there. But stuff like this is pretty noticeable. Can you see all this gunk on the side? I like to get off this stuff off. Yeah. See? Dirt off there and make it shiny. That's what I like to do. I don't think it's a little plastic buffer in there. So with time, like this is definitely from a vintage guitar. So the plastic will definitely like discolor just from UV rays and stuff like that over time. And definitely ways to remove the discoloration. Mm, but I don't know what this I think actually adds to the aesthetic of the vintage guitar. So kind of dig it. So look at that. Look at this side now. Compare that to this side. So let's go back with this little plastic razor blade and just get the surface gunk off. I definitely don't like using metal for this kind of a thing because the metal will leave scratches and micro abrasions, stuff like that in the metal. And this I could just use it basically get all that gross, you know, 70-year-old finger oil and gunk off. And like I said, this is just IPA, so it's definitely gonna dry out. So it's not gonna be, you know, adding moisture and liquid on there for a long time just to get corroded away. So the IPA actually evaporates pretty quickly, which is why I like to use it for cleaning stuff like this. Uh, seems secure. And yeah, if I haven't told you this before, this is from a, I believe it's a Gaia tone guitar. There's no there's no naming or branding on it on the guitar itself, no model number, anything. I just say that from like the neck, like this shape, like this little metal piece right here is pretty classic with Gaia tones and there's another one with just like Japanese vintage guitars. Like you can tell, like these are like definitely Japanese vintage tuners. They definitely like that style. But yeah, this head shape, this is definitely a classic Stratocaster shape, but uh the wider, like I don't know, the Japanese tend to be wider like this with the Gaia tones and stuff like that. Yeah. It's bad. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Fan. Q-tip. Just yeah. Oh, dust and debris and dirt. That was. No, no, it looks pretty good. I could clean it up a little bit more. So yeah, better. Oh, it looks like one of my volume knobs have come off, which is fine because I'll just go back and resolder the connection. So that's just one more thing to do. That's okay. I demand. I might have actually cleaned this one before a little bit, a little lightly. Not too bad. It's shiny. See? That's all I want to do. Make old stuff shine again. Nice. Okay. Now, can I figure out where this pot came from? Because if you, I don't know if you could read it. It says Cosmos Tokyo 500. Uh, so I wonder if I could, if I search that, do you think I could figure out what kind of guitar it came from? Because, like I said, this guitar actually has no branding on it, no names, nothing. I figured it out though. Okay, let's see here. Now we've got this one black wire that goes somewhere. So I'm going to find a connection that's missing a wire. I wonder if it would be better for me to just resolder all these because this one definitely came off. I wasn't. Maybe I was being a little too rough. Was what- Okay. I'm kind of worried about this connection too. Like I can see this connection, this on this orange, on this guitar input. Uh this one's actually very weak right here. So if I left that on there, I'm a little afraid that it will detach at some point. Now, what's it? Oh, this is Japan. This is Japan, Japan. Okay. I absolutely cheated. And this part right here connects to this guitar input jack. Um, and it looks like it actually was connected right here. So I'm gonna have to resolder this connection, which is cool. I'm fine with that. Don't mind. I'm not doing that at all. I'm actually stoked. I like doing that. Sounds like fun. So yeah, I got rice here. So actually, let me get my soldering area set up. Let's me get the clamps. Splice right here. Okay. And I'm actually going to put this input jack in here. I can manage not to snag this other wire here. So I'll get that held down. Move this up a little bit. I just want to like hold this in place. I don't need to like this table. I just want this to be pretty much held in place here so I can get this on here. And I'm going to need to cut this a little bit, this wire right here, to expose some of this wire so that I can solder that down to this piece right here. So, scissors, I guess. Some scissors. I do have nail clippers, but I have a wire strippers. But I mean, this is a pretty small wire. I just snip the end off of that. And let's say it's solid wire right here, so none of the sleeve is on there. So I'm just gonna, like I said, connect this piece to here. Yes. So let me get my soldering area set up. A little bit. Mhm. Okay. Now, if this was going to be a longer job, I would actually probably hook up my little, I got like this little hood thing here. Actually, let me see if I can move the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, pretty much just gonna hang up connect. So I've got this fan here. Um, it's just USB fan. Just plug this in so that this is blowing all the solder fumes away from me. Usually, if I'm soldering for a longer time, then I would definitely connect my little air hood. This thing, but I'm not going to use this right now. One reason it's loud, and two, this is going to be a pretty quick job, so I'm not going to be sitting here for a long time. Let this real back. Let's see this a little bit off frame. This is flux. It just helps solder flow more smoothly. Uh, yeah. Let me grab a Q-tip. It's like the dip this in the saw in the flux. I lost the lid to that. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? I'm just gonna put flux on the tip there, flux on this area that I'm gonna be soldering on the jack. Uh, right. Oh, look at this. This is actually really weak right here too. So I might end up adding a little bit more solder here to this little tiny connection because I feel like this is so flimsy that, once I put it back in the guitar, from it just being jostled, this piece of wire is going to come off. So I might just add a little tiny dab of solder to there as well. Uh, I got my solder right here. Just cut this with some scissors. I need a little tiny bit of solder. And this goes up to 350. Yeah. So let's go up to 350C. Okay. What I'll do first is I will. It's nice and hot. So I can so there. If you don't get the solder connection, you know, hot beforehand, and you just add new solder to it, new solder like on this. If I add the solder on the wire and then add a new solder onto here, like if I just dip this onto here and then try to rub that on there, it's not gonna connect well. It's not going to because you need to like permeate the solder so actually have a good connection. That's why you want that old area loosened up. Let's see. Okay, nice. Now, I mean, I've still got some solder there on the end, so I can try adding a little bit to here. I do. Just gonna put the wire, and then I'm gonna put this on top of the wire. So when the wire gets hot enough, it'll actually melt the solder onto itself. So the little tin on the tip there. So the tip is definitely good. And then now all I have to do is add this to this. And is there a hole, I wonder, for this to affect too? I don't want to just add it if I can make it a very stable connection. Yeah. Right. Go back in here and get this on again. Got a little bit. Right. And like I said, this the connection. The connection look good to you? Looks good to me. Well, actually, what I want to do is I want to just add a little solder to here, because this side's looking a little flimsy. Yeah. Well, just onto this connection right here. It might be hard for you to see, just like right here on this connection. It's definitely a little flimsy. So I'm gonna come them through here and if I can't. Okay. That's it. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna plug this soldering iron so I don't trip over it and fling it down on my arm or something like I normally would. Set this to the side where it's not gonna get messed with it. Plug the fan. That was easy, man. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. This stuff out the way. Flux out the way. So Don't lose your caps for the flux, okay? Because it gets everywhere and it sticks to everything. Yeah. Go to the cap. It's like worse than soda if you spill soda. Just gets everywhere and sticks to literally everything. Keep getting. Yeah. Right. Looks like we got pretty much everything good to go here. These connections are pretty solid. I do want to clean up this plastic bit. That's about it. And then I can put this bad boy back together. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. While I'm doing this, I'm going to try not to pull too hard on the wires. It's pretty dirty. Dirt my dirt. So what I'm gonna do is get my plastic cleaner. Oh, plastic cleaning action. Uh, of course, I sprayed it all over myself. Why wouldn't I? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, plastics. Great for headlights. Also great for anything else plastic. See if I can get this out of the bottle without spraying it everywhere. Okay. So that will do it. All right. Let's see. Nice coat on everything. Yellow plastic. We just removed all these wires and came back through. Dare this plastic to give me a hard time. I dare it. I'll get out the Dremel. All right, I will. Be Dremel in this. No, anyway. Yeah, these connect to the plates. They definitely sit inside the body, the cavity right here, but they connect to this metal plate. So, yeah, remember the order. This, something like that. Well, look at that. I told you they were weak. Shit. I could have just removed everything and then let me figure out where everything goes first and then I'll resolder that connection. Here. These are daisy chained to go down like this. This one, this knob here. Then the guitar jack. This. Just like that. And this goes up here. Like so. Flip this over. And then see that I have two more that have come apart, of course. Orange one. And then the blue one. Nice.